Back at it for another week, a long 3 weeks. It's your host, FOB Cnote, the Hood Ray Charles, Blind Papi if you nasty, Blind Lightning, and this is the Blind BBNIC show. It's been a minute, but I'm back in the studio. Blind Papi been working, had a festival, definitely loved it, touched a lot of people. The festival was crazy. My first festival is gonna be plenty more. What else we got in store? Oh, rest in peace to Mad, my grandmother. You know, the royal Beijing queen. You definitely would be missed. And we gonna say, like, subscribe, comment to the YouTube, the iTunes. Y'all been missing me, now I'm back. Let's run up these streams. Let's run up the subscribers. It's time for Blind Papi to get paid. I ain't trying to do nothing for free. I am gonna do it for free, but it's time. As long as I sit on this couch, let's just run it up, have a good time, and I just want to touch across the world, the people across the world. But today we going to talk about separation. Different separations. Like, it's different categories to the separation thing. So we going to close our eyes. We going to walk down this path. We ain't going to flip over no furniture. We ain't going to bump no walls. It's been a minute since I said that. We ain't going to step on the twins. We ain't going to knock over no TVs. And we going to go walk down this aisle. So on my way here, I was thinking about different situations of separation I could talk about today. And it's relationship separation. It's friend separation. It's, even separating yourself from the bed separation. So we're going to walk down this path of being in a relationship or having a relationship can hinder you down, can hold you down, can stop you from growing. I feel I've been in one of those situations where I focus more on the person than I did myself. I focus on making a person happy instead of getting to work. I have so many different ideas. I think at night, the best thinking I ever had, like I do at night. But when you worry about a person, that shit is a blockage. You can't focus for the podcast. You can't focus for the parties. You can't focus on life itself. But then when you separate a person, sometimes the person could be good, but you just need that separation. But when you separate from that person, your mind is clear. You think clear. You put things in motion. Like, the road is easy. You see your future. You see your path of success. Now we're going to open our eyes. And the reason why I'm touching on today's topic is because relationships can really hold you down to stopping you from growing. You don't want to be 50 years old and saying to yourself, I could have did this, I should have did this, or why I did not do that. Sometimes you can love a person so much that you just focus on that person and you're not focused on yourself. You can have dreams, but your dreams become their dreams. Sometimes you got to give that person a little space to focus on your dream. Sometimes you got the key to the door to your dream and your success, but you'll rather try to go to their door and try to put your key in it knowing that it won't fit. It's not going to work. It's called a separation. Sometimes chilling outside with friends and partying with friends can hold you down, can pretty much stop you from living your path. If you know you got a paper due, you know you got to put together your podcast for the next day. You know you got to go home and put your work, your stuff together for work. But instead you want to hang with the guys, you want to hang with the girls. That shit can hold you down. You got to separate yourself from that. Sometimes just being in the bed saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Or I'm going to do it the next day. Or I got time to do it. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from the free time and put that into the time that you really need in life. I sat down, I separated myself from a lot of things and I got focused. Every time I sit down, I think, I text my brother like, yo, bro, I know what we got to do to make it, bro. That's that time that I'm not spending on a person or time I'm not spending on bullshit and putting into the time that I need to use it, and I see my future. I got like 10 keys right now to different doors, different paths, and I sat there and said to myself, I'm going to take off with it. I know what I got to do. Nobody stopping me. Nobody holding me down. And I feel like if you home, you got to ask yourself, is it something that you got to separate yourself from? A relationship that's not good. Do you got to separate yourself from friends that's holding you back? That's not encouraging you to push your dream. Do you got to separate yourself just from life? And that's how I look at things. That's how I look at things. You feel me? Excuse me. That's how I look at things. I said this and said to myself, it's like 160 some hours in a week. What am I doing productive? How is I making my dreams possible? You can have every dream in the works, but if you're not working hard to put them dreams in motion, they just a dream. Things ain't reality. You can sit and say you're going to do X, Y, Z, but if A, B, C not done, how can you get to X, Y, Z? Sometimes people got people around them that just boost their ego. You can do this, you can do that, but you're not telling them, sit down and plan it out. Work this out. I'm telling you, a mind is a terrible thing to waste. And that's something that you just don't want to do. I sit down, I think, all right, what I'm going to talk about on this podcast today. How I'm going to go about this podcast. How I'm going to make this podcast better. But I can't do that when my phone is ringing. It's like, yo, bro, come outside. Yo, bro, let's run and do this. Bro, let's do that. It's like, when do I got time to myself to think about it? I still got a son at home that I got to pay attention to. So you got to sort your time out to be a better person. Sometimes you got to separate yourself from that 9 to 5 that you got at home. That 9 to 5 can really wear and tear you. If you got personal days, you got sick days, take them, recuperate, get back to the money. Don't stop, keep going. But it's that separation, that breathe that you need, that train of thought. Like, I've been through a lot where my mind was just cloudy. It, like, you know what I mean? And then when I'm in that room by myself after not putting my dreams into motion and not focus on myself, I put myself in a dark place. I get depressed. That's when the clouds start coming over my head. It's like, damn, I know I should have did this today. Damn, I know I should have did. Like, I took 3 weeks off from the podcast, and I know y'all miss Blind Papi. But it's just like, I'm home and I'm thinking like, damn, I missed the podcast. One of my good friends called me, he like, yo, bro, like, I don't hear you talk about your podcast like that. Like, I don't hear that urging in your voice, that excitement in your voice. And I said, yo, bro, it's there, but I just don't talk about it. Because I'm thinking about, all right, how can I make this podcast better? My train of thought is there. How can I execute this shit? How can I take a podcast, me sitting up there from season 1 talking about my trauma, to season 2 you hearing about other people's trauma, to turning this shit to season 3, my shit is worldwide global, even though it is, but still, when I'm getting booked in Africa, bro, we going to Cali, book the flights, this, that, and the third. So this week, I sat down and I focused on myself. I had time to think. I learned more about the business aspect of podcasting and owning your own business. I learned about, business credit. Shout out to me, I got my Duns and Bradstreet, and that's going to be the next episode where I'm breaking down the business aspect of everything of life, how you could put it, because one thing I learned about this pandemic, a 9 to 5 is never promised. Self-made, self-paid. People that had 9 to 5 jobs went out of business. They don't got no money, the income ain't coming in. They about to clip people from unemployment. What's next? Now, if you would have sat down and took this pandemic and sat down, I got the thoughts of doing this. I can cook. I can start my own cleaning service. I can do real estate. I can do podcasts, because that's when I started. It become clear to you, you do the business, you start seeing that you paying yourself. You don't got to wait for nobody else to dingle a check over you, or hoping that your job stay open and you don't become unemployment. So, it's been a minute, I'm getting back into the groove, dig me, blind lightning. But we going to transform into dark to light moments of this separate whole topic of separation that we doing. A dark to light moment was, I'm doing different parties, but I feel like I'm not giving my best effort into it. It's like, what's holding me back? It was too much on my mind. And then I'm worried about everybody else. So I'm sitting in the room, and the person I do parties with, he called me. He like, yo, Cnote, what's good, bro? I'm like, yo, what up? What's the word? He like, this is what I need you to do, bro. I need you to stay focused. I need you to get birthdays. I need you to get hosts. I need FOB to step up. And I'm scratching my head like nobody never had to call me and tell me to step up for no parties. So I'm sitting up there and I'm just listening to him talking. I'm like, so what's this about, bro? He said, nah, you doing your thing, but I know you could do better, bro. And I sat down, I'm like, damn, like, what's stopping me? I'm worried about this person over here. I'm worried about what's going on over here. I'm laying in the bed. I've been lazy. And I got comfortable. So I'm like, all right, cool. I pretty much say my life is like a chalkboard. Everything was written all over it. I took that eraser and I erased everything off the chalkboard. I'm starting from the beginning. Let's start over. Now, nigga, they can't talk to me. I'm sending 5 hosts in. I'm sending 10 birthdays in. I got bottles moving. I'm back to myself because I'm like, I'm not going off for just, this is my name. People going to come out and they going to party to my name. Now I'm putting the work in like I just came into the doors. Like, ain't no time to slack. And that's how I felt like I've been slacking for the past 3 weeks. I mean, yeah, I did the festival. Yeah, I had major parties that I locked in and focused in, but at the same time, it's no excuse. I still should be able to come in here and lock in and get the podcast going and running. Another separation I had to do, I had to separate myself from certain people. Some people wasn't just good for me. Some people was stopping my growth. If we walking into the club, people gonna look at me as you, and they gonna look at me as you as me. Once we coming together, we like a team. But if you known for being that bad boy of the club, because that's how they used to look at us, that bad boy, the bad boys of the club, and I always ask myself, like, why is that? But then when you got your business partner over here fighting, you got your business partner over here rowdy, you got your business partner like throwing muscle, they gonna look at you as the same way, no matter how good your heart is. So after a while, time going by, I start seeing people start fading away from that FOB light. Nobody want to party with FOB no more. I had to sit back and reevaluate everything. I distanced myself and started making it, instead of the FOB thing, I started letting him push his own name out there. And I went my own way. Eventually, we separated. The only thing I got to say, the light thing about that is I'm the only one that's standing behind it. I came in with a lot, but I walked out with just one, and that's me. Now I'm just rebuilding. FOB Sean, we got Paid in Full. I mean, DJ Chris, DJ Busy, KDS. And the list gonna keep growing. We gonna keep growing. We ain't gonna stop then because it's hard to stop us. I'm FOB Cnote, Black C Notes. I mean, Blind Papi. I mean, Daddy, can you see me now? Scared of the Dark. I could keep going on or the different business ventures that I got going just by letting the dead weight off my shoulders. I'm accountable for myself. Everybody their own boss. That's why I be family of bosses. Everybody their own boss. So if you fuck up your own boss lane over here, brother, man, you're on your own. Because like I always tell everybody around me, you got to be able to swim when the business go down. Because I know for a fact I'm going to make sure FOB float. I'm going to make sure Cnote float. Because I'm not drowning with y'all. Y'all sink to the bottom. I'm going to keep swimming. Like, it ain't no stopping me. So, if you home, look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, what I got to separate myself from? What I got to move away from? Sometimes you got to separate yourself from the food. If your doctor sat there and say, if you keep eating like this, ain't nothing good going to happen. You could cause a heart attack. It could cause diabetes, high blood pressure. But then you go home and you cooking that fried chicken, that steak, them ribs and all that, knowing that you're not supposed to have it. Guess what? You weighing yourself down. You got to separate yourself from that plate. Eat healthier. Eat a salad. I mean, grilled chicken is not going to hurt, especially when you got kids out here, when you got grandkids out here that you want to see graduate out of college. Do big things. It starts with you. So, I mean, yeah, I've been gone for a minute, but the bang is back. You know, I'm back. definitely be here next week. I ain't leaving. I ain't gonna step away from y'all too long. You know, I just had to separate myself and put things in order. And that's why I'm here today. All right, so a question for Blind Papi. Which lane can we go through? Cause I ain't gonna lie, it been so many different questions. This was a question a girl asked me. She sat there and said, "Was you always like this?" And I asked, like, always like what? She said, "Was you always a good listener? Did you always have a good heart? Like, did you, I mean, was somebody that was good to talk to?" And I sat there and told her no, I wasn't. I had a good heart, but a good listener and really gave people the good advice, I definitely wasn't. Now I feel like being that I'm in the dark, I sit there and I listen because it's like I want somebody to listen to me when I'm hurting. When I'm going through something, I want somebody to pick up the phone. I want to pick up the phone and call and be able to tell somebody my problems. Like, this is what's going on. This is what's happening. Like, I need your support. So I extend myself out there to other people. I'm your support. Tell me what's going on. Tell me your problems. Please don't tell me about your baby father. Don't tell me about your boyfriends. Because you know they say a shoulder to, I mean, a shoulder to cry on is a what? We ain't going to finish that, but. And that's how I look at it, lads. It's like sometimes people just need you to listen. Don't even say nothing. Sometimes that'll be the best relationships. I feel like if my brother wasn't here, my mother wasn't here, my sisters wasn't here to hear my problems, where would I be? I'd be long gone, ready to jump off the roof somewhere. If I couldn't call my grandfather to say this is what I'm going through today. I feel blind today. Because I can see, but today I feel blind. And if I ain't have my grandfather to talk me out of the dark, for my vision to get clearer, I will be, in that dark room. It wouldn't be no podcast every week. It wouldn't be no blind, but now I see every week. Especially when my phone go off and it was Siri, read notifications. And it's an Instagram notification that's a message somebody telling me, yo, I just looked at your first couple of podcast episodes and it touched me deep. No lie, before when I first got shot, I didn't see a lot of blind people. But in my inbox, the blinds is popping up. I guess when I say I'm the voice of the disabled, they really coming out, they flocking to my voice. It's like I got my own blind stepper army for real, for real. 4 blind people pulled up in my inbox, telling me they blind stories. Some of them I can relate to because I've been through it. 2 of them got shot. 2 of them was born like this. 2 of them lost their sight during diabetes. And then I sit there and say to myself, it's like, if I wasn't here to deliver this podcast every week, they'd be in the dark too. If you home too, don't take your sight for granted. Go to the eye doctors. Go get the proper medicine you need for your eyes. Do your daily checkup. Check your pressure. Eyes is very precious and very, pretty much sight is very beautiful. Just to see the colors, see the sky, the moon, the sun, your kids running, like your loved ones. It's very precious. It's valuable. I miss it. So I don't want you to be on this couch telling me your blind experience. I don't want you to be on your couch telling me that you blind but you can see because you did this. Take your health serious. Take your vision serious. You feel me? It's like from season 1, I know you heard about, my second mother, Sheena, Moosey. Me and her was sitting up there talking. She like, yeah, she got tunnel vision. She can't see on the side of her eyes. And I'm like, how did that happen? And she was like, she was putting the wrong eye drops in her eyes. And it fucked me up because I'm like, is it a doctor that could do something to save it? Like, what could we do? Because at the end of the day, I don't want you to experience, I don't want her to experience what I'm going through. It's a fight. It's a struggle. You feel me? I don't know. Everybody not built to stand in my walk, to walk in my shoes. Some people would fumble, would crash, would kill themselves being in the dark because it's real, it's serious. Because I had a journey of this. So I sat there, I said, give me updates on what the doctor's saying. Like, take it serious. Nobody want to be in the dark. You want to wake up. You want to see them text messages. You don't want Siri reading it to you. You want to see your kids. You want to see your grandkids. You want to see how you cooking. You want to wash your own clothes. You want to cook your own food. You want to be independent. I feel like being in the dark, it take away some of your independencies. You don't want that. You don't want to be a blind stepper. Be a blind stepper on the outside with your vision. Don't be a blind stepper in the inside with me. Save your vision. If I could make a 1-800 save your vision, I would. Save your vision because it is very, very serious. And I just wanted to say something too. It's like, if you know somebody that's going through something at home and you know you can help them, don't try to put a Band-Aid over they cut. They cut is not ready to heal yet. Sometimes you got to clean that cut, put some neosporin on it, some peroxide, then wrap it up so it can heal proper. So pretty much with that being said, break it down. Sometimes you got to listen to a person's problems, give your advice and your help to how can you help them get out of that problem. That's pretty much cleaning the cut. And then once they ready to get up and accept it and take your hand to pull them out of that slump, that's putting a Band-Aid over them. You did your job. Sometimes when a person in a dark space and in the dark, you just can't put a Band-Aid over them thinking they're going to bounce back because you just making that cut even bigger. We just got to do better, people. But until next week, I just want to say, when you think your life is hard, think of Blind Papi. When you sit there and say you can't go no more, listen to my podcast. This is the Blind BBNIC show. I am your host, FOB Cnote, the Hood Ray Charles, Blind Papi if you nasty, Blind Lightning, Blind Stepping. We out until next week.